Does your break shot look like this? Or this? Or this? What I want to talk about in this video today is some things that help you control your break shot, whether you're in practice or in a match. Some things you can do to get consistent results so that you know when you're improving, and specific exercises that you can use, and even some special tools later in the video that will help you improve your break shot in 9-ball. So let's dive in. So here's the thing though. What does it mean to have a good break shot? We have to talk about a system that gives us a set of parameters that allow us to identify what's good and what's not. So we have to operationalize the terms a little bit here today, and we're going to rely on Dr. Dave and Billiards University. I'm sure all of you are familiar with Dr. Dave. So the playing ability exams, which I love and I've used many, many times over the years, have a great system for determining the quality of the break shot in 9-ball. So I want us to take a look at that specifically, and I'll put it up on the screen for everybody here. This specific drill, skill number 10 from exam 2, gives us a set of parameters, A through E, and you get points for the sort of ascending order in which you're able to attain each of these items. So basically, it's about not scratching on the break, not scratching and not having the cue ball driven to a cushion. So this starts to bring us into a better picture of the quality of the break is about cue ball control, which we're going to take a look at here a little bit later, how to control the cue ball. Next, in item C, no scratch. The center of the cue ball remains within the white area here on the screen. So diamond 2 to diamond 2, lengthwise, this 4-diamond span of the table, that's the target zone, has to stay there during the entire break, not just off the initial impact from the head ball. That's important because it does make us have to account for any kiss shots or the cue ball getting kicked around the table, anything like that. That is part of the consideration here, so watch out for those. You also want to take into account how many balls are pocketed and the quality of the spread of the balls after impact. And so we talk about one or more balls being pocketed, and then in item E, it's not only do you not scratch, but that 3 or more balls are either pocketed or driven above the head spring, and that's the spread of the table. So this just gives us a few parameters to look at for the quality of the break. Let's dive in, we'll look at some examples here, and then we'll start to talk about skills that can get us a little bit closer to those results. So this first exercise here is going to show some attempts at a good break shot. You can see right off the bat, there's a good spread, decent spread, but the cue ball is driven to a rail, so it would not satisfy that condition. We'll take a look at this next example here. Better center table position for the cue ball. We do make a ball, and the sufficient number of balls are driven above the head string. So this particular break would satisfy far more of those items. We'll take a look at this next example here. So a lost our cue ball. Despite the kiss, I think even if it had not gotten kissed, it would have still been driven to a rail. We really are thinking a lot about the cue ball position, cue ball control. Much better cue ball center table, but again, we get kissed out. So what we're seeing big picture here is that the cue ball control and position is really important. So what I want us to do is to get rid of these guys. We're going to strip this down and think just about cue ball control and cue ball speed. We're going to use just a single object ball, in this case, on the foot spot. And I'm advocating for this particular app, the Predator Break Speed app. I'm not sponsored or anything, but I do endorse this as a product. I do think it's worth a couple bucks if you're able to swing that. Basically, the way it works is you start a recording on the app, and then upon impact, it registers those sounds, and then based on the size of the table, it will determine how quickly you hit that shot and spit out a result in miles per hour. The purpose of this drill is to set up that ball on the foot spot and attempt to hit it as a stop shot. And this is training you to find the exact right speed. You can see a lot of examples here. Some fun little trick shots, bank that in. But you're trying to find the exact right speed for the weight of the target. In this case, it is just a single ball. And you can see in these examples, the first example was good. It stopped pretty much dead. And these other ones, as I experiment with my speed, we're drifting off to either side or we're rolling through. So this is a combination of high ball, low ball, making sure we're avoiding any unintentional side spin. So really important to start with this one ball practice, and you see the results in the speeds. It's a fun one. I wanted to show this because it was wild. So a little bit of a pop on the cue ball can jump the object ball sometimes. Bounced off the short rail, off the long rail. Bounces again off the opposite short rail between the table and this short rail. I thought you guys might like that one. So with this single object ball, a little bit of draw pulls it even too far out, right, at that speed. Once you get that dialed in, move up to 3 balls, using the template to keep this controlled, and just illustrating that with a little bit of draw at around 14.9 miles per hour, it's pulling us back much too far. A little bit less draw this time, still getting pulled back off the rack. Let's check out our speed. So a bit higher speed, 15.3 that time. So set these up again, bear down. You want to try to squat that cue ball right there. Yeah, still pulling back too much, so tip too low. So you'll get that immediate feedback when you do this drill. Pay attention to what the cue ball does. We're not as worried about the spread on the ball. See, we increased the speed. That was better. Lots of unintentional side spin here. There's no need for that. But our tip position high to low was much better. And same deal, you go from 1 ball to 3 balls to 6 balls. And this is going to require you to adjust your speed and your aim. So I'd ratcheted down my speed a little bit, 15.7. And our cue ball was pretty good. It drifted down a bit below that second diamond. Much better cue ball here. A little bit of a pop to it. It stayed nice and low. If anything, we could pull back just a little bit to get it closer to center table. But the speed here, yep, right around 16 miles per hour. Feels pretty good. See if we can repeat that result. And again, we're less worried about the spread of the object balls. Yeah, increased our speed a little bit, but we still get a good cue ball result. Moving up to a full 9-ball rack, and the speed is going to be really different here. Good cue ball, good spread, made a ball. 18.4, this is close to a comfortable speed for me. Here's what gives us that perfect stop on the cue ball. Set up a slow motion video, and what you're looking for with a 9-ball break is a little bit of a jump to the cue ball. You do want to come just slightly high on the cue ball, and you can see in this slow motion video, apologies for the flicker, just the refresh rate of my lights, but you want just enough of a high ball to counteract how the cue ball is pushed back away from the rack. We'll take another look at that. So we had a high ball here, but the aim was off. You can see the left of the pack as we're looking at it here. The cue ball was driven to that left long rail. Check our speed. This one was around 18. So aim right. Left as we're looking at it, but right of the pack, around 17.5. We're going to aim nice and solid into that 1 ball. A little bit of a pop. Cue ball driven to a rail, so you wouldn't satisfy that condition, but this is a really nice spread. Let's take a look at some other slow motion hits. What it needs to. Little bit of a pop, kind of mini jumps along the table. And this one was a bit too high. You can see it rolling through. It would still be a good outcome here. The slow-mo. Little mini jumps along the table after impact. Cue ball hops just enough of a high ball to stop perfectly once it stops bouncing. A little bit of unintentional side spin that is hard to avoid, and the measles cue ball really illustrates that, but this is a really great result, pretty close to center table. So I hope that was helpful for you guys here today. Just a bit of a breakdown about what makes a good break, what are we looking for in practice and in competitions, and then some drills and tools that you can use while you're practicing to try to get more predictable results and to know what the next step is going to be. Basically, you're setting up either that single ball on the foot spot, 3 balls, 6 balls, 9 balls, kind of working your way up, finding those speeds. And this can either be done based on feel. You don't necessarily need some fancy app to do this, right? But I do find that the app is really helpful for giving us some kind of specific information to go off of in this case. Working your way up from 1 to 3 to 6 to 9, getting those consistent results at each level. And once you feel comfortable there, stepping it up, get consistent there. Thinking much more about your cue ball control than about making balls or getting a specific kind of spread. To me, the most important thing for developing a good foundation for your break shot is to only use as much power as you can control. And as you experiment with this app, you might be able to hit a really fast break shot, but you're not going to be able to get that consistent control over the same shot. So I want you guys to experiment with this a little bit. Let me know what you think of this system. And about the format for the video today, trying something a little different. Some of you have been asking about the break shot video, and so I wanted to share some of my thoughts. Certainly nothing new in pool, right? There's not many secrets left out there, but I hope this format is digestible and helpful for all of you. So be sure to let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys again for commentary videos, maybe some more instructional stuff as well.